Hello everyone! Here we have a very interesting thread on our StarCitizen. Not the Refund StarCitizen, no, the White Knight R StarCitizen. Link to this is my first pinned comment below. I asked for my refund today, started by important cow 7230. This thread on the White Knight R StarCitizen is highly upvoted. Played the game for around 6 days, overall enjoyed it. However, I have requested my 14 days, no question return today. Overall, the time penalty for when it goes wrong or glitches is just too high for me. Also, setup time to play with other players is just too high for me. My maximum is 10 hours per week, with 2 hours the maximum in a given day. In the game as it stands, I will probably spend 6 hours a week of that, setting up and/or battling and recovering from bugs, and that is too high. Personally, I think the devs should think about the game balance, time-wise. In my opinion, this is a typical player who just started to play StarCitizen. I'm talking about this for a long time by now. I understand some people like a slow and tedious game, and this is fine. However, telling us if you don't like a slow and tedious game, StarCitizen is not for you doesn't help. StarCitizen is a space game. I'm not supposed to teleport to everywhere in a split second. Some things should take time, and this is fine. I don't want to teleport all over the system. However, if StarCitizen would be released right now, assuming we would have like 20 star systems and most bugs are fixed, StarCitizen would lose players very quickly. People want to play fun and interesting games. Sometimes things, some grinding is fine. But people don't want to play some kind of bad interactive movie. I literally spent hundreds of hours gathering resources and mining in games like Valheim and 7 Days to Die. Because it's fun to do this in those games, and it is very rewarding. In the thread I just showed you, we have a typical player who pulled the plug after a few days because of the time sinks. Everything takes time. Even setting up for a mission can be easily 10 to 15 minutes. StarCitizen has a ratio of preparation, flying to a target and doing something that is actually fun, of roughly 10 to 1. 10 minutes preparation and AFK flying to a target to 1 minute of doing something that is fun. And we should never forget that many people have like 10 hours a week to play a game. If they have to spend at least half their time just for preparation, StarCitizen isn't going to be a successful game. Do people who defend all the time sinks really want this? A niche game for the very few percent of players who enjoy slow and tedious games? I want StarCitizen to become a fun, interesting and successful game, not a niche game. Something has to change. However, the time sinks will get worse. We already have losing items on death, slow and user-unfriendly Iron Man UI, slow and tedious inventory management, one of the slowest I have ever seen in any game. Dying of thirst in 90 minutes when running and 3 hours when standing still, dying of hunger in 5 hours, immersive elevator and metro rides. I think I've done way more than 10,000 by now. Global inventory gone. Ship inventory massively reduced in 3.23, which makes looting, for example after a bunker mission, much more tedious. Moving items one by one. Local inventory gone in 3.24. Instead we got item banks which are not any more realistic, but much slower to use. Moving cargo ourselves one by one. Where are the machines and NPCs Chris and Tony talked about more than 7 years ago? We will get much harsher consequences for death, including permadeath, death of a spaceman, personal hygiene, toilet gameplay. Our characters might have to sleep. Chris talked about this in the past. Micromanaging every little aspect of our ships, changing fuses, changing filters, etc. etc. Chris, if your goal is to destroy StarCitizen, if your goal is to lose players, if your goal is to lose people who are buying your ships, you are right on track for this. Chris, please tell me you don't want to destroy StarCitizen. Please change your ways. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SCTZ. C.